Hi, we're Dan and Lori Williams, and we live here in Hudson. About 40 years ago, one Sunday evening, we were having a Bible study in our family room. And one of the participants was Don Klein, Don and his wife Pat. Don was pastor of the United Methodist Church at that point in time, and he brought up the problem that our high school kids really weren't being exposed to the gospel, and wondered if there's something that we as a Bible study could do about that. So we started talking about it, and one of the couples in the Bible study, Dan and Sandy Branda, had just moved from Chicago, where they'd been involved in this group called Young Life. And they described it to us and said, why don't we think about that? So we looked around, and the nearest Young Life club was in Bay Village. We called the director, Tom Hammond. He came down, sat with us, and said, we don't do Young Life in towns like this. It's too small. You can't possibly raise enough money to support a Young Life leader.
We like that challenge.
So we said, can we try it? He said, yeah, but I don't think it'll work.
We continued with our Bible study group, and we began to think about it and pray about it. And we felt still strongly in our heart that this was the direction that the Lord was asking us to move in. And so we decided we needed to make a little bigger committee, because our committee at that time was just that one Bible study. And so each one of us in the group thought about people that we knew in the community that represented the different churches, and we thought we would see if they had any interest. Well, when we began to tell them about this whole idea of Young Life, they got very, very excited and said, sure, we'd be happy to be on your committee. And then from that, we just moved right ahead, and we met that challenge of Tommy Hammond's, and we did raise the money that we thought we might have trouble with. The excitement was just amazing in the group when this happened.
Hi, we're Phil and Jenny Thomas. We grew up here in Hudson. We went to Hudson High School, and it was there that we learned about Young Life for the very first time. And we're going to share with you tonight just a little bit about our story with Young Life. And so Jenny, you going to start us off?
Yeah, we love Young Life. It has impacted our lives so much, and I don't know where we would be if we hadn't started going to Young Life. We started going to club back in 1977, and Chuck Rosemeyer was the leader at that point. He was a great guy. He was loving, caring, and had a peace that I had never seen before. We continued to go to club for many months, and then ended up going to Saranac for a week in the summer, and it was the best week of our lives. It was there that we gave our hearts to the Lord, and since then we're not the same people as we were back then. Christ has really transformed us, and I'm just so grateful for Young Life and for Young Life being there for us.
That's great. So fast forward a little bit, we left high school, ended up getting married, and then moved away from the area. We've had our 3 children while we moved away, and then we moved back in the area, and about 8 years ago, Fred and Helga Gross came to us and asked if we'd be part of the leadership of restarting Young Life, which was pretty great because Fred and Helga, Dan and Lori Williams were part of the original team to bring Young Life in the area back in the 76, 77 time frame. And many years later, Jenny and I have the opportunity to invest in and bring back Young Life, which is a great privilege. We've seen the principles of Young Life be part of our lives, earn the right to be heard, to develop relationships with the kids before you try and share the Lord with them. And I think that's been an impact on our marriage, an impact upon how we raise our kids. All 3 of our children have come to know the Lord. They've now married Christian spouses, and they're raising their kids in Christian homes. I think that's just a testimony to what Young Life has done for us, and we give certainly the Lord all the credit. But Young Life was an integral part of what the Lord did in our lives. It just occurred to me that we're sitting in the house that my brother Dave was impacted through Young Life. He used to have Young Life meet in this room. We've had Young Life here since then. It's been part of the fabric of our lives here, and I think it's just a great testimony. Plus, we want to be part of the legacy of seeing Young Life continue in this area because of what it's done for us. So Thanks for letting us share.
Hi, my name is Sarah Nelson. I live in Twinsburg, Ohio, and I have my husband and 3 boys that we are doing life with there. I grew up in Hudson, though, and I have no doubt that God used Young Life as part of my family's history and as part of my history to change the trajectory of my life and my walk with the Lord. 2 parts. When I went into high school, I was lost. My family had gone through a divorce, and I lived with my dad and my brother. At the time, I didn't know that my uncle Phil Thomas had gone through Young Life back in the 70s and met the Lord through Young Life Club and camp and started praying for his siblings. And one of those siblings was my dad. And you fast forward many years later that I was in high school and I was asked by upperclassmen to come to Young Life, and they were bringing me to Young Life Club. And that freshman year, I went to fall weekend. My club leader, my cabin leader, was Nicole Rice. And I remember going out that fall weekend and hearing about the gospel and making a choice at that time to follow the Lord. I came back in from that fall weekend, and I remember talking to Nicole that I didn't know what that meant and I didn't know what that really looked like, but I knew that I wanted God in my life. From that point on, that rest of the year, Nicole spent her senior year with just time with me, picking me up to go places, running errands with her, going out for bagels. She took me rollerblading, she took me on walks, she just shared life with me and talked with me about the Bible and talked with me what it meant to have Christ in my life. Those were times that I will never forget. If it wasn't for Nicole, I really don't know how I would have learned what that looked like to have a relationship with the Lord. I went on and was able to use that model as a junior and a senior at Hudson High School to spend time with girls that were younger than myself. I also went on to be a Young Life leader at Miami University and have just seen God use the ministry in amazing ways, including being part of what is happening in Twinsburg right now. I appreciate and I'm so thankful for all the time and energy that Nicole spent with me, because I know that God used it in significant ways in my life.
Hi, I'm Nicole Rice. I live in Stowe with my husband Jason and my son Tyler, who's 14, and my daughter McKenna, who is 11. Young Life has played a huge part in me coming to know Christ and my faith journey. I grew up in a home where we didn't go to church. My parents didn't know the Lord. And so my first introduction to a God who loves me and cares for me personally was at a Young Life Club. When I was a freshman, a senior girl invited me named Megan Randall, who picked me up every week, took me to campaigners. Louis and Jill Cataldo were my Young Life leaders, who I'm forever grateful for. They actually married my husband and I found a new identity in Christ. I had formerly put it in things that weren't lasting, and the hope that I have in Him has taken me to places that I would have never guessed. I met my husband through Young Life. I actually ended up being a leader at Miami University. I got to start a club that didn't exist prior at Lakota East High School. It started as Lakota, but separated into a separate club, and that was just a phenomenal experience, getting to pour into other people the way I had been loved, to love these high school students and introduce them to Jesus for the first time was just incredible. Not to mention just like the leadership skills I developed and the way I got to be a part of a community, and I ended up having this home away from home through the staff people at in the greater Cincinnati area, like Nikki Wilbrand and some others. So that time, that season of life was just amazing, as I was able to just give of myself and share the love of Christ with high school kids. So from Miami University, I got married to Jason, who was my high school sweetheart, who I met through Young Life. And we came back to this area, and he was already leading, so I felt called to join him in that. And that even brought new joys with it as a young married couple, as we got to and just invest in the lives of high school kids. And as I look around the room, I see Lauren Johns and Carolyn Hewitt and others who I just got to be a part of their faith journey, and it was just such a blessing coming alongside of them, and the legacy is really rich here, and to be able to look at these people who poured into me and then look at the faces of those I poured into is just pretty awesome. A huge testimony of God's love for me and God's love for them.
My name is Lauren John, and back in 2000 I was a junior at Hudson High School. And I had the privilege of playing on the soccer team with a bunch of junior and senior girls who truly loved and followed the Lord. And throughout my junior year, they invited me to club and campaigners, and it was at Young Life that I truly heard the gospel of Jesus for the first time. That is where I first learned about my sin and about God's great love for me. And throughout the course of the year, I had the opportunity to get to know Nicole Rice, who was the Young Life leader there. She pursued me, invited me to things, hung out with me at football games, took me to go shopping for college materials, all sorts of things. And it was over our camp trip my junior year at Rockbridge that she really had a profound impact on me. The Lord really used her to paint a vision for what it looked like to follow Christ in my own life. She gave me the vision that my faith is not just about me and how I'm feeling and what I need, but about serving and loving others as well. And she really modeled for me what it looked like to give away your life to Christ. I'm sure she was doing that with the girls that pursued me on the soccer team, and she really set the vision that I could do that not only for my friends, but for my family as well. And throughout my senior year, I had the opportunity to care for and pursue others that were around me that really the Lord used in my life that I could continue to follow Him not only my senior year, but in college and afterwards as well.
My name is Carolyn Hewitt, and my husband Jamie Hewitt and I are on staff with Young Life here in the Western Reserve. We live in Monroe Falls with our two children, Jonathan and Charlotte. But I grew up in Hudson, Ohio. I grew up in a wonderfully loving family, but a family where Jesus wasn't the focus. I was introduced to Christ my freshman year through Young Life because of my sister Lauren. She had met Jesus through Young Life her junior year and had totally changed her life, and she invited me into that life. She brought me to every club and campaigners and to fall weekend and summer camp, and I heard the gospel sitting in the barn at the Liskey's house from my Young Life leaders, Mark Evans and Jane Nicole Rice. And I saw how Lauren and her friends' lives were different. They had something I didn't have. They had the fullness of life that Jesus talks about, and I wanted that for myself. And so I started a relationship with Jesus also. A few years later, I moved to Virginia and I met my husband Jamie, and he went on Young Life staff, and just a few years ago we came back to the area to go on staff here in the Western Reserve. I had the opportunity to start leading at Kent State. I got to work with freshmen, training and recruiting them to become leaders here in this area. And the Lord has just been so gracious, allowing me to walk alongside girls as they start relationships with Jesus, and other girls who knew Jesus and being able to see them further their faith. I'm so thankful for the way that Jesus has included me in what He's doing in this area through this ministry.
My name is Caitlin Lauber, and I'm from Dover, Ohio. I've been attending Kent State for the last 4 years, and I came in as a church kid, pretty jaded and burnt out from past experiences, and I wanted nothing to do with anything Jesus Christ or getting involved in any other Christian groups at college. I, weirdly enough, stumbled into something called Young Life, where I thought I met the coolest senior, Carolyn Hewitt. She ended up not being a senior at all, but the area director's wife. And I was still pretty resistant to get involved in anything, didn't really trust people. But for the first time ever, Carolyn just kept bothering me and wanting to be in a relationship with me, and I noticed with no strings attached. There was no gain and for her, and I just felt like that was the way Jesus wanted to pursue us. That Carolyn wanted to be my friend whether I had it together or not, and that's the way that Jesus wanted to be in a relationship with me. And from there, Carolyn invited me into her life and invited herself into mine. And we started to pursue Jesus together and pursue college girls together. I didn't want to be involved in anything, and the Lord had a plan otherwise, that I was going to lead for the next 4 years and that we were going to lead together in the hopes that girls would know the same truth about Jesus that we got to know and learn together. And I then enjoyed the next 4 years loving being beside girls at Kent State University.
My name is Cashman DeLaw. I'm a sophomore at Kent State, and I'm from Cincinnati. I was born into a really good family. All of whom are Zoroastrian, which is a really old, ancient Persian religion. I went to Young Life a couple times my junior and senior year, and I met Sheila Chambers, who pursued me a ton. I remember senior year seasoning plan in my life, but when I came to Kent State fall semester, I just threw it out and didn't really have any care or concern about who Jesus was and what it looked like to follow him. I kind of just did my own thing and experienced this freedom that came with going to college and doing what is the college experience, which kind of went with going out sometimes. But through fall semester, I also met some really cool friends who consistently pushed me in the right direction and just were always there for me. I met Caitlin Laver and Carolyn Hewitt, who started up Fall Semester Fellowship, which I went to a couple times, but I really do remember going to one of their houses and having breakfast with them every Saturday morning really early, and that was like the first time I realized that they just had real, genuine love in their hearts for me, and it just seemed so real. So spring semester, I went to Bible study with Caitlin, and I just really appreciated her pursuing me so hard and always asking me what it looked like to follow Jesus and pushing me towards that. I feel like that was the point where I really started a relationship with Jesus, and I just was really into the idea of following him, and the thoughts and the desires just came along with that, which proceeded to my actions. Into fall semester this year, I have become a Young Life leader, and I get to work alongside of Jamie Hewitt and Maria Peck, and it's been a blast. We've been pursuing people who are, and college students who are really lost, and that just really resonated with me because I was in that same position, and it's so real to be able to help them. But I just couldn't do it without Caitlin Laver and Carolyn Hewitt for pushing me and pursuing me and being so consistent in my life. And just like because of them and because of Jesus pursuing my life has not been the same since, and it has changed everything bad into good.
Hi, my name is Jess. I go to Streetsboro High School, and because of Jesus, my story has changed.
My name is Joe. I go to Hudson High School, and because of God, my story has changed.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I go to Hudson High, and Jesus has changed my story.
My name's Hannah Ingram. I'm from Stowe, and because of God, my story's changed.
Hi, my name is Michael. I went to Hudson, and God has changed my story.
Hi, my name is Madison. I go to Streetsboro High School, and my story has changed because of God.
Hi, my name is Elijah. I go to Twinsburg High School. My story has changed because of God.
Hi, my name is Faith, and I go to Kimpton Middle School, and God has changed my story.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I go to Hudson High School, and God has changed my story.
Hi, my name is Kyla. I go to Twinsburg High School. Because of my relationship with Jesus, my story has changed.
Hi, my name is Ian Tallman. I go to Hudson High School, and because of Jesus, my story has changed.
Hi, my name is Izzy. I go to Streetsboro High School, and God has changed my story.
Hi, my name is Logan. I go to Stowe High School. Through God, my story has changed.
Hi, my name is Riel. I go to Hudson High School, and because of God, my story has changed.
Hi, my name is Danny. I attend Twinsburg High School, and my story has changed because of Jesus.
Hi, I'm Felicity Melendez. I'm from Streetsboro High School, and God has changed my story.
My name is Colin, and because of Jesus, my story's changed.
Farther